Live from World Dairy Expo, this is the Bullvine. Your daily dose of
Okay, so if you've ever set foot in those barn aisles at the World Dairy Expo in Madison, you know exactly what we're talking about, that atmosphere.
Oh, wow.
It's not just, another cattle show. It's just charged with this sheer exhaustion, but also this massive burning hope and this high voltage hum of nerves that just sinks right down into the shavings. You feel it.
It is truly a scene unlike any other in agriculture, isn't it? It's this global stage, but for what's often a very isolated way of life.
Right.
And what we're tackling today is just the unbelievable outcome of WDE 2025. I mean, we dove deep into your source material and the central paradox. You just can't ignore it.
Which is?
The analysts, the spreadsheets, all those predictive models that are supposed to govern modern herd management, well, they were all flat out wrong.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Our mission for this deep dive is really to figure out exactly how, in the high-tech year of 2025, it was fundamentally the old cows and small dream. Yeah. That just managed to demolish everything. The algorithms, the high-tech prediction models, insisted was impossible. We're really looking for the why behind this massive upset.
And look, this was far more than just shuffling ribbons and banners around. WDE 2025 delivered a series of profoundly defining moments. It was definitely about resilience rewarded. It was about deeply held hope being kind of rekindled. And critically, it was this massive public defiance of the very indexes and genomic projections that are supposed to guide the future of the industry.
So a real pushback.
A huge pushback. It was the year when, the raw story of the farm, the people truly mattered more than just the cold theoretical numbers on a page.
What's fascinating here, and it jumps out from every source, is this David versus Goliath narrative. It just threads through everything.
Absolutely.
We're going to explore how longevity actually beat genomics in the ring, how these tiny family-run dairies manage to utterly outshine the industry giants.
Yeah.
And maybe the most encouraging part for anyone listening, how pure instinct completely trumped relying only on data.
And the sources, they immediately capture that emotional starting point, right? They convey this collective feeling that the true persistent heart of dairy farming, that unwavering personal belief, that, almost spiritual connection to the animals, it still beats louder and stronger than even the most sophisticated technology. And for a community facing some really tough economic times, this felt like, almost a validation of their very soul.
Speaking of heart, we absolutely have to start with a moment that brought a lot of people to tears in the junior show. Let's set the scene. It's late Sunday night. The junior Holstein show just wrapped up. Okay. And the air in that barn was just thick with that mix of exhaustion, sure, but also this quiet reverence.
Yeah. That quiet reverence is so key because, Madison just keeps moving, right? The show goes on. But those specific moments, they get etched into people's memories forever. And when that final decision came down, it wasn't just another win. It was a defining, full-body emotional experience for the winners. We're talking about Lucky Merjack Asalia.
Asalia, yeah.
First named grand champion. And then she went on to capture the supreme champion title at the junior show. Just huge.
And the owners, Tessa and Stella Schmacher from Whitewater, Wisconsin, the sources really emphasized that Tessa was just overcome with emotion.
You could see it.
Yeah, this wasn't just about getting a banner for her wall. This felt like a powerful affirmation for every single young producer out there who's poured their entire adolescence into their herd, who still really believes in the value of that hard-won wisdom over, some instant prediction from a computer.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, her victory, their victory, was validation on such a profoundly personal scale. The sources actually state that for the Schmacher family, this was a testament to quiet hopes and persistent belief, and the often undervalued worth of experience. And then there's this quote that just resonates across the entire industry. Their barn had, in every way, saved their dreams.
Oh, that's powerful.
Isn't it? That explains why the community reacts so strongly to moments like this. It affirms that all that physical labor, all that emotional investment, it isn't wasted. It means something.
That sentiment, their barn had saved their dreams, that's just incredibly powerful, especially in, a tough world, a tough industry sometimes.
Exactly.
And the judges who had the immense task of validating this history, they were true masters. Judge Pierre Boulay and his associate Richard Landry. They sorted through over 300 hopefuls in that junior show alone. Imagine that.
think about the pressure on those judges. I mean, they're literally looking at the future of the industry walking in front of them.
Right.
And when Judge Boulay pointed to Azalea, the sources describe it almost as if he was acknowledging every single early sunrise, every storm they endured on the farm, every minute of care and meticulous handling. All of it, right there, embodied in that heifer at the center of the ring. It's this profound recognition that history and partnership and that personal investment, they matter profoundly, often, outweighing just the simple snapshot of confirmation on one particular day.
Okay, so now let's transition from that raw emotion, really, to the core theme we wanted to hit in section 2.
Yeah.
The courage to trust intuition.
Right. Gut feeling.
Exactly. We're moving toward looking at the champions who proved that these really profound choices, the decisions that genuinely shape a herd, they aren't always found neatly compiled on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. I mean, we're looking at farmers making these real-world bets made without guarantees. And think about it, in an age where every breeding decision can be, theoretically optimized by indices like TPI or LPI.
All the numbers.
All the genomic scores that predict future performance based on DNA analysis. These winners really highlight the art side of the whole equation. It's not just science.
And the first, unmistakable signal of this shift, it came midweek during the Ayrshire show. Wednesday really sent a jolt through the barns. You could feel it. The energy, the pulse of the crowd, it was electric in that ring.
It really was.
And the winner was B-Will Kingsire Willow, who was crowned the International Ayrshire Grand Champion.
And this win for the owners, Budgeon Farms and Peter Vale, it was immediately hailed as a victory built on, pure intuition.
Pure intuition.
Yeah. They saw something in Willow, something that warranted that investment and that continued dedication. It was a risk measured not just in, immediate financial return, but in decades spent chasing possibility.
Wow.
The sources really underline that these were instinctual choices. They might have even gone against maximizing a specific numerical index, but they acted on that gut feeling. And look, it paid off at the absolute highest level.
That's the tension, isn't it? That constant balance between the perfect genomic score on paper and what your eye, your experience, your gut tells you. But here's where it gets really interesting. Moving on to a genuine living legend. We have to talk about Stony Point Joel Bale.
Ah, Bale. What a cow.
The iconic Jersey cow owned by Vieira Dairy Farms. Her accomplishment is it's truly staggering, capturing the International Jersey Show Grand Champion title for the 3rd consecutive year.
3 years running. That's not just a win, that's dynasty territory. And it's almost physically impossible in modern showing. Think about the physical demands on that animal.
It's incredible.
She has to maintain peak condition, her lactation cycle integrity has to be perfect, and she's competing against new, younger, often genetically engineered rivals year after year after year. Every single time she steps into that ring, she carries the weight of her previous titles. It's immense pressure.
So in the face of that constant pressure, new rivals showing up, new challenges, her quiet determination really offered this powerful, quiet reminder to the entire industry, didn't it? What does her 3rd win tell us about character?
Well, her victory embodied that spirit that withstands disappointment. It's the same fundamental spirit that drives every comeback. She is, in a way, the humble, resolved engine that's driving every single barn at dawn.
Mm-hmm.
She demonstrated that superior conformation and persistent, consistent performance, even when faced with the newest, flashiest contenders, can create an absolutely unbreakable legacy.
But if we're really looking for the ultimate evidence, the smoking gun, that age can absolutely defeat sophisticated algorithms. I have to look to the Brown Swiss ring.
Oh, this is a moment.
This cow, Iroquois Acres John Kelly. She is the poster child for longevity, just winning out against that modern push for rapid turnover in herds.
This moment was truly extraordinary. Just a huge validation for the traditionalists out there. Callie is 10 years old.
10 years old.
And in her 7th lactation. Let's just pause on those numbers for a second.
Yeah, that's uncommon.
It's incredibly uncommon. Modern genomic indexes often favor cows designed for, super high production, maybe in the first 2 or 3 lactations. That naturally leads to quicker herd turnover. A cow reaching 7 lactations, still competing, that signals robust health, exceptional management, and incredibly durable conformation.
And her owner, Brian Pacheco, he brought her out, and the sources describe her as just moving and looking like she hadn't known a hard day in her life. It was amazing. She was standing there among rivals years younger, yet she just glided with this presence that simply demanded your attention.
She was crowned grand champion for the second time.
Incredible.
A 10-year-old cow in her 7th lactation, winning her 2nd grand champion title on the world stage at Expo. That's not just unbelievable, it's a statement, a huge statement about enduring quality.
You could almost feel it in the crowd. When she won, you could sense every old hand, every farmer who's dedicated their life to the craft in that barn just take this collective deep breath like, yes. The sources noted that her victory was described as a harvest of hope, grown from patience and persistence. And it felt profoundly personal to so many people watching.
It really speaks volumes to the value of partnership and, frankly, faith in an animal over years. Age, for once, wasn't a liability. It was recognized as a badge proudly earned.
Right.
Representing years of worry, yes, but also years of faith and gratitude. Not just some number on a genetic printout. It reminds us all that structural soundness and resilience, those are quantifiable qualities too. And they often surpass the theoretical predictions of a DNA test when it comes down to long-term profitability and honestly, just the joy in the barn.
Okay, the intensity only ramps up from there when we move into the Holstein show. I mean, this is the heavyweight division, right?
This is the one, yeah.
This is where dreams are either made or absolutely shattered in front of the largest crowds of the entire week.
And the sheer scale immediately sets the stage for drama. The International Holstein Show saw 468 entries. Just think about the logistical and emotional weight of that number. 468. That's 468 individual dreams, individual hopes that had been months, sometimes years in the making. And the shift in energy in that Coliseum when the winner was finally announced, it was palpable, almost violent in its intensity.
So who ushered in this new reign? Who took the top spot?
The new grand champion was Love Hill's sidekick, Candy Cane.
Candy Cane.
Owned by Alicia and Jonathan Lamb of Oakfield, New York.
Okay.
Judge Aaron Eaton made the call, and our sources all confirm that this win signaled a profound shift. It wasn't just a new name winning, it felt like a clear passing of the torch, like the beginning of a new chapter in Holstein excellence.
What's truly fascinating, though, and really critical to understanding the weight of this particular upset, is who Candy Cane surpassed to get there.
Right. This is key.
Last year's absolute sensation, Jeffrey Way Hard Rock Twigs.
Twigs, yeah.
The cow who had completely dominated the previous season, securing that highly coveted North American double. She was named Reserve.
Okay, let's just clarify for our listeners what that North American double actually entails. It's huge.
Yeah, please do.
It means winning grand champion at both the World Dairy Expo in Madison and the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair in Toronto in the same season. That is the absolute peak of showing achievement in North America.
Okay. So Twigs was a megastar.
She was a true superstar, an established dynasty really in her own right. So to witness her celebrated reign step aside for the newer competitor, Candy Cane.
Well, it provided this really powerful moment of transition. You could feel the shift.
That's a giant falling, metaphorically speaking. And maybe literally, they're big cows.
Oh.
But it teaches a huge universal lesson about performance and evolution, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Witnessing the most celebrated champion step aside reminded everyone ringside very clearly that no reign is permanent.
Right.
Perfection is temporary. Tomorrow always belongs to the next great cow, the one who's willing to believe in her chance and put in the work. And this isn't just about dairy cows. It applies to business, to sports, to anything competitive, really. You have to constantly evolve, or you risk being overtaken. So if we're seeing intuition and longevity winning out like this, does that mean farmers should start discounting those genomic indexes? Is all that data suddenly irrelevant now?
See, that's a critical question this whole deep dive forces us to ask, isn't it? And the answer is no. Not at all. The data isn't irrelevant. Genomics are still a vital starting point for efficiency, for health traits, for potential.
Okay.
But what WDE 2025 powerfully reminded us is that the data is like the map. It's not the territory itself. The farmer's intuition, their eye for condition, for structural durability, their day-to-day management skills, that's the compass you use to navigate the territory.
Map and compass, I like that.
Candy Cane's win reinforces that true excellence really requires that balance of both, the predictive science and the practical, daily, hard-won wisdom that comes from experience. You need the numbers to help narrow the field, maybe, but you still need the art, the intuition, to find the true champion.
Okay, from the established giants of the Holstein ring, let's transition now to maybe the most universally moving story of the whole week, the ultimate underdogs.
Yeah, these are the stories that stick with you.
This is where small dreams achieved genuinely supreme results. Just incredible.
And this takes us to Friday's massive surprise in the milking shorthorn ring. This is really the story of Emily Fisher, and it proves beyond any doubt that the size of your farm has absolutely nothing to do with heart or dedication or the ability to produce a truly world-class animal.
So who is her champion?
Her champion was Mountain View TC Fired Up, and Emily, she's from Pittsfield, New Hampshire, walked away with that grand champion banner.
Wow.
And the narrative here is so crucial. Her family farm was described vividly in our sources as a small dairy. A small dairy that went head-to-head with some of the largest, best-funded operations in the entire nation.
And won.
And won. It proved that hope, not herd size, is the currency that actually carries you to the winner's circle.
That must have resonated so deeply.
Oh, hugely. Because every small farmer listening, they understand the depth of that struggle. Her win wasn't built on, massive financing or an endless army of staff.
Right.
It was built on sleepless nights and persistent personal belief. The source material really captures this feeling that the impossible became real simply because someone refused to quit.
And the quote they captured from Emily Fisher just perfectly sums up the spirit of this entire deep dive, really. She said, "Hope is enough."
As cool as that.
That message just belongs to every small farm fighting to hold on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Every entrepreneur starting small, every person who feels totally overwhelmed by the scale of their competition. Hope is enough.
Absolutely. That modest, persistent hope, it matters profoundly. But the drama, it was far from over. We now move to the absolute peak of the entire week, the moment when the supreme champion is crowned. And 2025 delivered an earth-shattering upset.
Okay, paint the picture. Describe the tension in the Coliseum for that supreme moment. What was it like?
The tension was almost unbearable. They bring back all the grand champions from the different breeds. The Jersey, the Holstein, Brown Swiss, Ayrshire, Guernsey, Milking Shorthorn, and the Red and White.
All the best of the best.
All the champions on one stage. The pulse in the room just slows right down. The collective breath hangs in the air because you are about to witness the crowning of the best dairy animal in the world for that year.
And the contenders.
The main contenders were Golden Oaks, Tempter's Ready Tea, the red and white grand champion,
Okay.
and the powerful Jersey icon we just talked about, Stony Prote Joel Bale, the 3-time reigning champion.
So Temptress Ready Tea, the red and white champion, owned by Milk Source and Partners, she was the clear underdog, right? Facing down the celebrated Bailey dynasty, why specifically was the red and white seen as such a long shot in that final moment?
Well, historically, the Supreme Champion title at Expo has been pretty much dominated by the black and white Holsteins, and more recently, the Jerseys.
Okay.
The red and white breed, while extremely competitive and beautiful, has often been sort of overlooked for that ultimate crown. Tempter's was already kind of an upset winner in her own breed ring. But facing a 3-time champion like Bale, who just represents the absolute pinnacle of Jersey excellence, the odds just felt overwhelmingly stacked against her. Her win would really break the established mold.
And the underdog prevailed. Golden Oaks, Temptress Ready Tea took the Supreme Champion banner. What was the aftermath like? What happened?
The sources describe a veritable explosion in the Coliseum, just eruption.
Wow.
The bar erupted with tears, hugs, laughter, just this massive unifying roar that wasn't just for that specific cow, Tempter's. It felt like it was for every comeback and every hope reborn when disappointment whispered, "Try again."
Goosebumps.
Yeah, it was the ultimate collective statement of the entire week. That courage and persistence, they will always win out, even against established, seemingly insurmountable dynasties. It was truly a victory for believing in the outside chance.
So while the ribbons are dazzling, definitely, and the upsets were historic this year, our sources also remind us that the true legacy of World Dairy Expo is often built outside the actual show ring.
That's a really important point.
This takes us to the awards that define things like humility and sportsmanship, and critically, mentorship.
Yeah, these are the moments that truly define the culture of the dairy community. They emphasize that character matters just as much as confirmation. We're talking about the Klusendorf Award, first off.
Okay, what's that?
It's basically the highest honor given to an active dairy cattle exhibitor in North America. It celebrates ethics, humility, and sportsmanship demonstrated over an entire lifetime. It's not just about winning.
And this year, that incredible honor was given to Clark Woodmansee III, recognized for a lifetime dedicated to kindness and ethical practice in the show ring.
Absolutely deserving. And then there's the companion honor, the Klusendorf-Mackenzie Award, which specifically recognizes the younger generation of leadership, the future standard bearers. That went to Matt Sloan, who is described as the young gun of dairy leadership. And this distinction is really crucial. One honors the lifetime standard bearer, the veteran,
Right.
and the other celebrates the future of that mentorship tradition, passing the torch.
The sources really highlight the power of their handshake. Just a handshake between Woodmansey and Sloan, but described as a powerful, silent moment. Why do the sources spend so much time focusing on just a simple handshake?
Because it's the visual metaphor for legacy, isn't it? It wasn't merely two people exchanging congratulations. It represented the physical transfer of respect, of kindness, of knowledge, and those essential lessons of kindness and hard work being passed down from one generation to the next. In an industry that can be defined by really fierce competition, that handshake symbolizes that true, lasting success is built on a foundation of humility and community support. It's bigger than one person.
It's the ultimate lesson in knowledge transfer, really. True legacy isn't built in a single day or with just one banner. It's built over a lifetime of mentorship, of generosity of spirit, and choosing to lift others up, even when they're your competition.
And what stands out to me when you synthesize everything from WDE 2025 is the ultimate message. It wasn't just a singular victory that changed how observers felt. It was the entire community of people. The people who keep showing up, who choose hope during tough times, and who believe in each other.
Yeah.
That's the true heart of dairy, isn't it? Partnership, faith, and the belief that tomorrow can always bring a harvest of hope, regardless of market volatility or what the technical predictions might say.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener? Whether you run a small family operation or manage a massive high-tech herd. The overarching lesson from the World Dairy Expo 2025 seems crystal clear.
Yeah, I think so.
The events proved that the fundamental heart, the intuition, and that persistent hope we cultivate right at home, they're still the primary ingredients for making champions. The spirit of dairy just refuses to break.
We saw instinct trump predictive indexes, plain and simple. We watched David beat Goliath in the milking shorthorn ring, validating every small operator out there. And we saw a 10-year-old veteran cow prove that longevity and structural integrity still matter profoundly, defying the models that just chase short-term genetic peaks. The core message is tenacity. And it's a tenacity born not from endless resources, but from unwavering dedication.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting as we look past the banners and maybe into the future.
Yeah.
Our sources share this incredibly powerful, almost silent anecdote. It's about a young exhibitor leading her heifer home after not winning a ribbon. No banner this time.
Right. That silent moment of determination, it's the ultimate sign of resilience, and it really encapsulates the whole week's underlying message, I think. As the lights were fading in the barns, the crowds dwindling, trucks starting to roll out.
Yeah.
This young girl was seen just walking her heifer. Maybe she was tired, probably disappointed, sure. But she was walking with this palpable fire in her step. You could just see it.
And she had a quote.
A definitive, quiet quote captured by the sources. She just said, "I'll be back. You just watch."
Wow, I'll be back. You just watch. That raw determination, right? That sheer fire in her step, despite having faced defeat, that right there is the true enduring spirit of the dairy community.
Absolutely.
That's the promise that lives in every single barn, from California to Quebec, doesn't matter where. It's that refusal to let one setback define the entire journey.
And that's the ultimate challenge we want to leave you with today. You, the listener, who's facing your own spreadsheets, maybe your own tough times, or perhaps that feeling that the odds are just stacked against you, just like they felt for that red and white champion before she won, that young exhibitor walking her cow home and already planning next year's attack. She is living proof. Remember her words, remember her fire, and remember the lesson of WDE 2025. The next sunrise is yours to claim.
Here's to barns that save dreams, cows that become family, and a spirit that no matter what, absolutely refuses to break. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Today's bull